Hey nerd family, welcome back to another video. Today we have a special tech unboxing for you. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. Today we're looking at the Galaxy S9 Plus. Let's jump into this thing. Alright guys, now to be honest, it's not a full unboxing because I wanted to put my hand on the device for a little bit before I made this video. So the phone already has been taken out of the box and has been turned on. I've only had it for about 24 hours, so this video is gonna kind of be somewhere in between a unboxing and a slight review on the phone, but not a full review because I haven't really had enough time to test everything yet. But when you open the box, I'll show you here. So, at first, you just have this little thing here. Normally, they have the phones on the top, but you got this little paper thing here that is going to have the SIM removal tool in the back there, as well as some of your documents, paperwork, things like that. So, we don't really need any of that. We're just going to set that off to the side here. Then you would have the tray where the phone sits. We have the phone right here. So, you take that tray out. Inside here, you are going to have a USB-C to USB cable. So just your regular USB to USB-C cable. You are going to have your AKG headphones that Samsung's been putting in the boxes with most of their phones as of recently. You're going to have your regular power brick there. And then your Samsung USB connector. So that's going to go USB to USB-C. So you have your little adapter there. And that is all there is in the box. I'm just going to close it back up and get rid of it here. Now we do have the coral blue edition. So you guys can see the coral blue. Now, just some quick facts before we get into it here. The phone's going to come in lilac purple, midnight black, titanium gray, and the coral blue that we have here. So you can go ahead and see the coral blue. Now it does get quite the fingerprints, of course, but that's most smartphones now. So you guys can see that coral blue. And while I have the phone up here, you can see that the biggest thing they did was they put that fingerprint reader on the bottom there. It's not a huge deal for me, as I haven't owned a Samsung phone in a while, so I really didn't get to suffer from having it over on the side, but I guess I could see how that would be an annoyance. We'll come back to that later. Now, the lilac purple is the new color that Samsung's doing. It's kind of sort of to match the rose gold that the Apple people are liking there. So that lilac purple is a little bit different for you. Now, of course, you have the S9 and you have the S9 Plus. Now, to kind of give you a breakdown there, the S9 is going to be a 5.8-inch screen, whereas the S9 Plus is going to be that 6.2-inch screen. So you get a little bit larger screen size with the S9 Plus. Now, both are going to have an 8-megapixel front camera. They do have the super slow-mo. Now, the super slow-mo is only going to record in 720p, but it does do it at 960 frames per second. So that's going to be the slowest slow motion we've had in any cell phone so far. And from some of the demos I've seen, it actually does it pretty well. Now, it will record in 4K when you're not doing the super slow-mo. And that's either 30 or 60 frames per second. So whatever you like better there. Now the rear camera is going to be a 12 megapixel dual aperture camera. So you're going to have the ability to change between f1.5 or f2.4. So that's just going to be the amount of light it lets in, more light or less light depending on what you're shooting for. And you're going to have a whole bunch of other things you can mess with, but that's the first time they've actually put a dual aperture camera on any smartphone. So Samsung's really knocking it out of the park camera-wise, which is really all they changed, per se, with this phone, going from the S8 and S8 Plus to the S9 and S9 Plus. they really focused on the camera. That's really what they did, and then they changed that fingerprint sensor. Now, to go over some of the other things, on the S9 Plus, you will have a dual cam. So just like the Note 8 did, as well as on the new iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8 Plus, you also have those dual cameras. But that's only on the S9 Plus. Now, they are sort of copying Apple a little bit. They are doing what they're calling AR emojis, which is like the Animojis, but slightly different. It actually looks more human-like, and you can do a lot more with it, and I think with software, they can update that and make it better over time, so I think it will get a little bit better. I messed with it for a little bit. It's kind of cool. I don't know how much I'll use it, but it's cool. Now, to get into the hardware a little bit more here, both phones are going to have a 64-bit octa-core processor. Now, its max speed is going to be at 2.8 gigahertz, but it does have a separate core that can go to 1.7 gigahertz. So you're going to have a pretty speedy phone. Now, you have the choice on the S9, you got the 4 gigs of RAM, or if you go to the S9 Plus like we have here, it's going to be 6 gigs of RAM. So you get a lot faster experience with that S9 Plus. Now, they both only come in 64 gigs of storage size. I kind of think that at this point, for some people, it'll be enough. I was kind of happy with 128 gigs, although Apple did away with that as well. But that's what I have on my current phone that I'm using right now is 128 gigs, and I'm happy with that. So I wish that Samsung would do a little bit more than 64 gigs. I wish they'd have 2 different options there for you, but unfortunately that's all they have for now. So 64 gigs is better than less than that, so I guess we'll have to deal. Now, what's really good is they also put in Dolby Atmos stereo speakers. So you have 2 different speakers you're going to have at the bottom and at the top of the phone. And I listened to a few things Dolby Atmos-wise, and I'll tell you, it sounds pretty good. It's going to be hard for you guys to really get that experience through this video, but I will play a few things for you just to kind of to show you. But I mean, when you're sitting there, I mean, it almost sounds like surround sound. It almost sounds like all the sounds are moving around you. And then they do say it'll be better with headphones, of course, because you got it directly in your ears. I have not tested that out yet, but some pretty cool stuff. And you also do get that 4K display as well. So everything's going to look very, very crisp on it. So I pulled up some videos, watched them in 4K with the Dolby Atmos, and it was very, very nice. You almost can't take your eyes away from the screen, especially with it wrapping around with that edge screen. Now, I have a love-hate situation with the edge screen because I'm always afraid that I'm going to drop it and break it. I've seen a lot of people break the edge screen phones, but that seems to be where a lot of phones are going these days, so we may not be able to really get away from that. But I love it because everything looks crisp and clean on it. Everything just wraps around the edges, and you're just immersed in the screen. And having very little to no bezels, everything just looks very good on it. Now, what I also like, and I don't know if it's the first phone they did this with, but Bluetooth-wise, on these phones they have dual Bluetooth audio, so you can listen to 2 Bluetooth audio sources simultaneously, which I think is pretty cool. So I will be testing that out and seeing how that actually works. I'm curious to see. Now, of course, like most other phones that are out now, we do have the IP68 rating, so that's going to be water resistant, that's going to be dirt resistant, things like that. Battery-wise, on the S9, you're going to have a 3,000 milliamp, and on the S9 Plus here, you're going to have a 3,500 milliamp. So pretty much in line with most phones that we have on the market right now. Now, as far as security on here, you have a lot of different security. You do have the fingerprint sensor on the back. You do have the iris scanner. You do have the facial recognition, and you can do both the facial recognition and iris scanner together, so it'll look for both, and it makes it more secure. I do like that, and it actually works very quickly. So I'm using that, and I also have that fingerprint sensor as a backup method too. So you got all those, and they work flawlessly. I have not had any issues with any of those as I've been testing it out. Now, price-wise, I'm getting some different prices from all over the market, so we're going to go based on just the Samsung price alone. The S9 is going to full retail for $719, and the S9 Plus is going to be $839. So, roughly speaking, you're going to be around $30 to $35 a month on the S9 and between $35 and $40 a month on the Plus. So just about in line with all the other phones. I have a love-hate situation with that as well. I love technology. I love all the things these phones can do, but I'm hating where the prices are getting. But honestly, you know, this being a brand new phone to the market, having a lot of good technology built into it, and not even being out yet, and the price is already lower than the iPhone 10. So I do like where Samsung has priced it at, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here, if their next phones come out similar price point or not. Price-wise, I think they did a really good job on this. So we'll go ahead and kind of look at some other things here. So you have your always-on display. I have mine set down here, so it just kind of shows me on the edge screen, you know, the time and things like that. Now, like I said, if I want to unlock it, I can go ahead and double tap here, hold it up, and boom, it's unlocked. So I know you couldn't really see how fast it did it, but it did it very, very quickly. Now, unfortunately, you guys really can't see the full display on here or how it looks, but just take my word for it. It looks really, really amazing. Everything that is on this phone looks very crisp and clean. Now, as I was talking about the fingerprint sensor here, the reason it's, like I said, it's kind of a love-hate situation for me is only because I really didn't get to experience the fingerprint sensor being on the side over here, and I don't see how it would be that much of an issue. It's only slightly on the side. But right now, my daily driver is going to be the Google Pixel XL. That's the original Pixel XL. And I'm used to having the fingerprint sensor on the back here, which I've gotten used to. But I'm not a huge fan of the button being, or not the button, but the fingerprint sensor being on the back. I can't stand LG phones with the button actually being on the back. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I did come from having the Motorola phone, which is the Motorola Z Force here, the original Force. And I like how the fingerprint sensor is on the bottom. So I got used to having it on the bottom, plus you can double tap there and unlock the screen and then use your finger to lock and unlock the phone. I really like that. But I understand to, you know, have it bezel-less, you can't really have the button on the front, and I know that they are working on having it built into the screen. So I really can't wait for it to be built into the screen. I know there's some phones that are coming out with it, and Samsung probably wants to get it, you know, on point before they actually put it out. So I give them props for not half-baking it and putting it into this phone. But I can't wait to see it. I think that'll make it 10 times better. You do also have your heart rate sensor over on the side there where the fingerprint sensor used to be. So all in all, I think they did a great job. I do like, I'm a huge fan of the Pixel XL right now. So it's going to be hard for me to really beat that. I'm so used to everything about the Pixel, and everything just runs very well. The battery life is amazing on it. It takes really good photos. So it's going to be hard to beat it, but I think that they may beat it. Now, to give you guys just a little background, I you know, come from having a lot of Samsungs. I think I started with like the S3, went to the S5, and then I think I jumped over to the Note 2. I believe I had maybe the Note 4 and then the Note 5. And then, of course, I was one of the people that got the Note 7, had it returned, got a replacement, and then they decided they weren't going to make them anymore. And at that point, I didn't know what to do. That's when I jumped over to the Pixel. So I've been using the Pixel since, and it's been quite some time. So I'm curious to see if Samsung can win my heart back. But I don't know. Like I said, it's a little bit more expensive, and I like where they're going with the camera, but I wish that they had put a little bit more work into more than just the camera. But time will tell. As I play around with this device for a little while, we're going to see, is it the new best device? And I'm excited to see what happens if they sell out of them quickly, if they have you know, a lot of demand for it. I know Samsung's also working on another phone, hopefully coming soon. They've been working on it for a while. And I believe what they're going to be calling it is going to be the Samsung Galaxy X. It should be a foldable phone. So when it unfolds, it'll be the size of a tablet, approximately, and then it'll fold back up to about the size of a big phone. I'm very intrigued and very interested to see that. I know there's some other manufacturers out there that have started it, but it isn't so good. So I'm hoping that Samsung will knock it out of the park there. They've been talking about this for almost 10 years now, so it's hopefully coming soon, and that is one I'm really excited about. The one thing that I miss from this is the S Pen, but of course I could have gotten that on the Note 8, but I decided to go with this for the new camera features and things like that, and we'll just kind of see what happens with that Galaxy X and see what that brings to the table. Alright guys, so I'm going to try to get a view here of me unlocking the phone. So hopefully we can manage this. Hopefully it's a good shot here for you guys. So let's take a look and see what we can do here. So first we're going to double tap, and then we'll go ahead and put it up to our eyes here. And boom, just like that. You guys saw how quick that was. So now we're into the phone. Let's put it down here. Very quick. Everything it does is very, very quick. You get to all your apps there. If you guys have seen a Samsung phone and seen like the S8 or S8 Plus, functionality-wise, it's really not too different. You still have your Edge menu that you can get to over here. So, I mean, you know, it's not too different there. But all in all, so far in the 24 hours, it's been a really great phone. Now, I do like how you can turn it sideways and your apps and everything will go sideways. That is a new feature. Now I don't know if that was on the S8 or S8 Plus, but I do like how you can do the whole operating system sideways like that. Now, like I said, you guys won't get the full extent of it, but I will go in and play something that is a Dolby Atmos, and we'll see what we get here. So hopefully you guys are watching this on a high-def screen. Maybe you're watching it in surround sound, and maybe you'll get some form of it here. But you got to get your hands on a phone and try it out for yourself. So let's go into YouTube here. I got one queued up here. So there you guys have it. I mean, it's super loud, but it almost sounds like the sounds are moving around you. It's very epic. Having that very super wide screen, man, everything, it just, you don't want to stop watching it. It looks super, super good. Now, I've had some phones that have had really good screen quality, but with the Edge screen and having it be super wide, it looks 10 times better than anything I've seen. You know, I've had phones that are super good audio-wise, but nothing that sounds like it's surround sound coming from a phone that doesn't have full-on surround sound. So, I mean, I think it's amazing what they're able to do with that. Now, comparison, I'll show you guys kind of side by side, sidewise, and things like that, what we got here. So, this is going to be the Pixel 2, this is going to be the Pixel XL, and this is the S9 Plus here. So you can get a comparison there. Slightly taller, about the same width, but you don't have the screen that wraps around the edges there. Thickness-wise, they're very, very similar, but I want to say that the Samsung's slightly thinner. And then we'll compare it over to the Moto Z Force here. About the same as it was with the Pixel. A little bit taller on the Samsung. It's actually thinner. The Samsung almost hides behind completely the Motorola there. And then thickness this wise, I think that the Motorola takes the cake there, but you do have a little camera bump on the Motorola because you're supposed to have the mod on the back to cover it, which would then make it thicker. So, I mean, you know, there's never going to be a perfect phone, but the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus comes very close. When they can put that fingerprint sensor on the front, then I think it's game over. I think that's going to seal the deal. Now, you know, I like how you get updates faster on the Pixel because it being Google. I like some other things about Google. I like that they're giving the unlimited cloud storage right now, but I'm sure that's not going to be forever. And that's not a huge deal killer. It's just an extra little perk currently. But S9 Plus definitely has a lot going for it. And like I said, although it is expensive, they've kept the price down in comparison to some of the other phones that have hit the market recently. So I'm excited to test this thing out and put it past its limits and see what it can handle. So I've used it for 24 hours. Like I said, battery life has been good so far. I've been doing a lot on it. I've been showing this video to a lot of people today, that 4K Dolby Atmos video, and I've been doing a bunch of other stuff on the phone, and I'm at 60%, and it's 9:20 at night right now. So battery life is amazing. Of course, it's got quick charge like all the other flagship phones. So if you are a heavy user, you're going to be able to plug it in and charge it up very, very quickly. Now, just holding the phone in my hand right now, and you've seen that image, it almost looks super, super realistic. That looks super, super realistic. And I have a bright light shining on it. You can get that glare right there, you can see, but that looks super, super realistic. That looks amazing. Now, I also have it set to its highest ability. It's got the screen resolution turned all the way up. It's got everything it can potentially do all the way up. Now, you can see the screen dimmed out there when I wasn't using it for a little bit. But I also think right now the brightness isn't all the way up because it's got the blue light filter. So I don't think its brightness is all the way up right now, and you can see how good it looks there. So if you were to crank that brightness all the way up, it would even be better than what you just saw. But I think this is going to be a contender. This is going to be a hard phone to beat if you're looking at getting into a new phone right now. If you guys want to see me do a more in-depth review and kind of cover more stuff on the phone, let me know. I can definitely jump into doing a more in-depth review. And you guys tell me what you want to see, and I'll go ahead and do it, and we'll get another video out for you. But that's going to go ahead and end this video for you guys today. Our somewhat long but brief unboxing of the Samsung Galaxy S9 Plus and a slight review as well. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Hope you guys enjoyed getting a little hands-on with this phone before it releases, and hopefully it helps you guys choose if you want to go with this phone. If you guys have any questions on it, let me know. If I don't have the answer, I'll definitely research it and get the answer for you. But if you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, please give it a big thumbs up. Please make sure to share this video across any social media platform that you like. Please leave any comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys like, didn't like, or want to see next. If you guys did like this video and would like to see more, please go ahead and subscribe. I'll put the subscribe button right over here. Make sure you ring that bell so you get notified of any new content to come out. If you guys want to see any of the older content, go ahead and follow the links I put up on the screen here so you can get to the older content. And until next time, guys, stay nerdy.